dreadful.
Where's my money?
Where's my money?
Andy Gould has joined us for a little chat backstage. We've been talking to bands all day, and it's been standing up here and there. You talk to a manager, you get a roof over your head, you get a set of chairs.
I have to talk to bands all day. That's what I do for a living.
I'm a big fan of music, but I'm a much bigger fan of the managers. It seems like a much more exciting game, to be honest with you.
It's an interesting game. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I mean, you know, I just saw Primus play in front of, you know, thousands of people going crazy. How great is that?
How long have you been in the game? What bands have you looked at after in your time?
Oh my lord. Linkin Park, Lionel Ritchie, Pantera, Rob Zombie, Guns N' Roses, Damien Marley, Kool in the Gang many years ago, and
do you think
everything?
Do you think that like rock management, like is it the glory days of the fur coat and the cricket bat? Are they over? Has the BlackBerry killed it?
No, I don't think so. What's really, really great is that the record companies have gone out of business because if they were foolish and lazy, and that always demands that, you know, that has to go away. And bands now, music has become more important. You know, people like music, they just don't like buying records, or they don't like buying silver discs, because the record companies refuse to acknowledge their fans and know what their fans were so busy taking big monster salaries that it was like this sort of big battleship that couldn't move when anything, you know, when anything changed. So they all went out of business, and quite rightly, the quicker they're out of business, the better. I think what happens is that the industry became corporations. You know, back in sort of the day that everyone says were really good old days, you know, when music business first started, it was, you know, basically selling records out the back of a car.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's all, you know, it's you know, people that are good people are forced to ask questions like, can you deliver this record in the fourth quarter? Because we need to make our numbers. Not, do you need to make a great record? You know, there it is, right there. There's your problem, I think.
I read a lot of books about music and stuff, and stories of like Don Arden hanging people out of windows by their ankles.
Don Arden threatened me on the phone. It's one of my finest moments.
Really?
Yeah. And Don's daughter is Sharon Osbourne, and she's one of my best friends, and he yelled at me over the phone and told me he was going to throw me out the window. It was fantastic.
That's the stuff, isn't it?
You know, it was great. I was asking for a check.
Where's my money?
Where's my money? You have to remember, it was a very different business. It was like, you'd go, you know, people would walk around with briefcases full of money because people didn't know, you know, what it was all, you know, we didn't know what was going on. It wasn't, you didn't have to like have these reports and stuff, you know, it was all, literally see people walk out of a gig with like a big briefcase, and you'd go and they'd be hundreds of thousands of dollars in a briefcase from selling t-shirts at a gig. So you'd have to have like a big guy, you know, to kind of protect it.
Fur coat and cricket.
Fur coat, cricket.
Comparing them then to the now, which would you choose? The days of piracy or the days of Blackberries?
Oh lordy, I have a.
Surely you had more freedom to.
There was more freedom back then.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, there's lots of great music around. I mean, you go to the internet, you find tons and tons of great music. The big problem is monetizing it. You know, for those people. And I have like, you know, I think if fans, you know, anyone who's, you know, you're not a fan if you steal music. And do, you know, especially if you steal music before it comes out. Maybe after it comes out, you can kind of do what you want with it if you've paid for it. But if you find music, you know, like Guns N' Roses now have this, you know, record, and people stealing it. It's not cool. That's not a fan. Those people should go to jail. And you know, people sort of say, oh, well, you know, pity the big poor rock star. And I'm like, well, if you feel that way, then go to McDonald's and steal their shit. They're bigger than all of us. I hate those, but they're not fans. Go straight to jail. Do not pass go.
Right, look, it's been an absolute pleasure to meet and have a little chat with you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to talk to bands anymore. I'm just going to
come talk to managers.
Yeah, talk to the managers. You get seats. We could have done it on a sofa.
Much more good. Lots of comedy too. Yeah. With a bit of luck.
Yeah. And if not, I'll break your legs.
Exactly. And where's my money?
For all things, the man he talked to me. Now, Pierce is a strong man. crowd made him retire at the